Well, we're slowly settling in. Most of our unpacking is done. Well, if you take a look behind me over here, you'll see that the bookcases need their books, but we're getting there, and we're getting settled in. We had our first holiday here, Thanksgiving, and we had a Thanksgiving dinner. It was great. It went really well, so that was pretty cool. And now we have an upcoming holiday with Christmas. We'll be putting in a Christmas tree, our first Christmas tree, and fingers crossed, our plan is to have a live tree. Over the years, I was used to having a live tree in the house, so it would be nice to get back to that. We'll see how it works out, with size and placement, with the furniture and the fireplace and that, but that's our plan. Whether we're able to accomplish that, I don't know. I guess we'll see, because they say the choice of fir trees is going to be limited this year because of a root fungus or some kind of disease in fir trees. So, as I said, fingers crossed. But that's not why I'm here to talk now. Earlier this year, I passed a milestone in my life. A significant milestone to me, a significant milestone. Now, it wasn't a birthday or any kind of anniversary, but still significant to me, pretty much so. I've never been one to stress over those significant birthdays, like 30, 40, 50, oh no, just another day, right? However, my early 50s is when it dawned on me, sort of struck me. It was like, whoa, hey, you know what? You passed a half a century back there. Yeah. So I became more conscious of my age from that point on. Not that I, regretted being old or dreaded being old or anything, stress over it, but I was more aware of it. And that could be one of the reasons that this milestone, this upcoming milestone, which is past this year, was more in the front of my mind. It's something that was always there for the past 20 years. It always has been there. But I think that that's what helped bring it out. And then 5 years ago when my mother died, I think that helped bring it right out there on the front, because she was my last real direct connection to my father. My father died 20 years ago. Now, I still have two of my sisters, but when I think of my mother and father together, it hit me then, and thinking about what we went through when he passed away, I've always thought of him every day. It's like, I don't think a day passes that I don't think of him. But it was this time of year when he died, and sometimes I'll have to revert to paperwork to check that specific date. Was it this day, this day, this day? Was it this day of the funeral or his death? Because, I don't know, dwelling on that day, it's not something to celebrate, so, you know what? You just know when the window is. I do. I mean, I do know the date if I think about it hard enough, but I don't stress over it. And, being in a daze at that time, just thinking about how this would affect my mother, and, preparing for the eulogy and looking back at his life. So, but yeah, he died when he was 60, and it was just a few months after his 60th birthday. So, as 60 approached, that was right there in front of my mind. Now, I did not stress over 60 when it came, and that period from my birthday to those few months, it's like, not that I want to say, I brag and say, I outlived my father sort of thing. But it is, I didn't dread, I wasn't worried about anything happening to me, but that date was just there. It was there. But it's come and gone. But as I said, I didn't dread because, I think I'm pretty healthy. I mean, I have a few minor issues, but my father and myself, two different people when it comes to health. He was not healthy for a good part of his life. He was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in his late 20s, and he was never one to watch his diet, and he suffered for that. He had complications. He had his first open heart surgery, 5 bypasses, when he was in his late 40s. And then again 6 months before he died, and that was that 6 months. He was in the hospital that whole time. When my daughter was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, I didn't appreciate the fact that my father had it, but I was fully aware of what the possible complications could be. Fortunately, she's healthy, so I don't worry so much yet. I care about her health. But yeah, so that was a milestone for me, and now it's gone. It's behind me. I'm aware of it right now because we're in that window when my father passed away. But he's still here, every day. Yeah, every day. I mean, I've made vlogs or blogs about it. I'm pretty sure, and if I can find the blog, I'll put a link down below, in which I've talked about things that what I've done in my past, probably from my late 20s on, probably from the time my son was born, was look at my life in a timeline beside my father's timeline, where he was at what age and how the rest of his life was going around that. And different points along my life, I've done that same thing. So I guess it's sort of natural that this 60 plus a few months, would be so significant to me. Not to anyone else, but yeah, to me. But it's gone. And yeah, but it was a milestone. All right, well, I'm out of here. Ciao, folks. Vlog on.